All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode. Excited about this one, too. We have a special guest, Martin Chuck of Tour Striker. So last week, we got into a little bit of my training aid habit. Matt finally copped to a little bit of a habit. You heard the name Tour Striker come up a lot. Here's this Tour Striker 7-iron. Here's the Smart Ball. We got Martin Chuck himself, the founder of Tour Striker, on to tell us, do these things really work? How did he start making these? Training aid industry as a whole. Bit of a background. Good episode. Hope you enjoy it.
If you guys
All
hear me, we're good.
I can't even believe what my publicist got me involved with this evening. And my agents, you know what? I mean, it's crazy.
Everything was good till the idiot from Wisconsin showed up.
That's right. That's
Bit of a recurring theme.
All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the Bogey Ball Society podcast. Usual cast and crew, Brian, Jason, Matt. And this time we're joined by a very special guest, Mr. Martin Chuck. How we doing, sir?
Oh, he did
You
it
did
again.
it again.
On purpose. Entirely on purpose.
No, I'm good. It's nice to be with you, young lads, and showing your respect to the elder here, and putting babies to sleep and wee ones to bed. I remember those days a long time ago. Little kids, little problems. Big kids, bigger problems.
For sure.
I have a quick question before we start, Mr. Charles. We're not close enough for me to call you Chuck. So,
Okay.
I thought of that down in the kitchen, and I told my wife that
That's
joke.
a good one. Go
And
with that.
she rolled her eyes so hard that she passed out for like 35 seconds, and she's okay.
I believe it.
So
I believe it.
Marty, I think it's fair to say you're certainly a household name in the world of golf instruction, but I think what maybe folks aren't a little clear on is Tour Striker as a brand. How did that get started? I mean, you went to New Mexico State. Did you earn an engineering degree and just started building contraptions to help golfers, or how did it all come to pass?
At New Mexico State, they had a course. It was MacGyver 101. and the requirements were you showed up with a notebook and some
And a
duct
mullet?
tape and some toothpicks and a mullet. Don't knock the mullet. I have a mullet to prove it, actually.
It's essential.
And I had the frosted tips mullet. Yes, I did.
Fancy.
I did. And so, no, you know what? I mean, being a coach and being on a lesson tee and working with golfers, and you're like, man, I wish I had a gizmo that would make this person more aware of what they're doing here. And the next thing you know, I'm cobbling together some things in my garage. My wife thought it was crazy. I had this, she still thinks I'm crazy, but she's been massively supportive of it. And she basically runs the training aid business. I'm just the dude who stands out front and, tries to sell you this stuff and explain why it'll help you. Yeah, it's been an interesting road. I mean, first product was I took to an attorney under like Cloak Fest and, went to show him the Tour Striker Training Club in 2006. Eventually got to the PGA show in January 2009. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. There's been some successes and some not so successful years. To be honest with you, it's a hard business, man. It really is. Everybody thinks they're going to invent something and make a squill. And it's not like that. It really isn't.
So it took 3 years from basically the first prototype to getting it to the PGA
Well,
show?
it wasn't, in fairness, for my idiocy, right? It was like a golf club. So I was like, you got to get this thing like cast and made. And it's not like the first one, I would show it to you, but it's in the studio at the Raven. One of my awesome employees, I was a club pro in Reno, Nevada. And I had this Marshall Steve. What was Steve's last name? Anyway, he saw me like grinding away in the golf in the cart barn with this, wheel with a thing on it. I'm grinding away, sparks everywhere. And he's like, dude, put on some eye protection. Like that's number one. Okay, no.
And then watch out for your frosted tips.
Yeah,
obviously.
Watch out,
right?
because it might set ablaze.
That's right.
I was past frosted tips by that point. But no, I made this thing, and it was cool. People liked it. And you need luck in the golf. You need to hit the right time. Like there's a time for products to hit. And at that time, everybody was talking about compression and forward shaft lean. And then here I come out with this gizmo that teaches people how to get the shaft forward. And, there's a feedback mechanism in the face that lets you do that or not. And so it was cool. I mean, we sold like 150,000 of those damn things. It let me quit my day job, which
Hayes, you have this, right?
Yeah. By the way, if you need any sort of
Show and
show and tell support, I got you covered.
Yeah.
so there it is. Hey,
Yeah.
look at that. Attaboy.
I don't have the red
Yeah.
stripe, but I'll get some nail polish or something maybe. I
Is
don't
Yeah,
that a
know.
that's
mark out
perfect.
on the toe, Hayes? Is
What's
that a ball mark on the toe?
There is no toe.
You will hit it everywhere. Yeah.
No, you will. You will.
There's only
Yeah.
a sweet spot. That's I gotta get one of those. I think that's an
Oh, yeah.
awesome idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I will say I love it, but my experience with that club is, I mean, if you have an ego and you need to look at the range, it's not the training aid for you, man.
Right.
You know,
I got
you
a
know what's
net. I got a
funny?
net in the backyard. I'm okay.
Yeah, you can hide and use it, but here's the interesting thing. Like, so I run a golf school every week. So every week there's 15 people in front of me, and I'm an entertainer and a golf coach. Like, I'm there to make sure people have a good time, and I'm also there to coach them. Like, I tell them, I say, hey, I'm not going to placate you. I'm going to tell you if you suck and why you suck and how to fix it. And some people can fix it quick, and some people they can't. It's going to take a while, and we show them how to send a video back and forth. We actually show them how to take a video on their phone, look at the video, send the video, because once they can look at and see what we see, now they're their own coach. That's the key, right? Like, to get them to understand what the hell they're doing wrong. And then, of course, we're going to give them the insights on stuff to fix and maybe a gizmo that might help them learn to do it faster. But so in a golf school, everybody will use gizmos. Like, everybody's got something. Some people don't. They don't need it. Some people do. But they'll say, oh, I can't use this when I go to my range back home. And that's basically the age of everybody. So that was, my campers are between like 45 and my two oldest campers were 90. No lie.
You call them
Seriously.
campers? You call them
Campers.
campers?
They're campers. They're campers.
Fantastic.
A 90-year-old
fantastic.
golfer going to camp. That is a happy camper.
Dude, it's amazing.
My God.
It's the best. So the campers, I'll say to them, listen, I mean, what are you afraid of? If you go to your range and some guy goes, hey, Bob, you got a smart ball in your arms. Like, what? You're going to go, Bobby, I'm going up. Like, what's the big deal? Say, tell the guy, Phil, stuff it up your, you know what I mean?
You can say it.
Let's go play, man. Beat your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, in
Great.
smart ball, I'm not afraid. And since you're talking about smart ball, like what's so the 7-iron or the training club was first,
Yeah.
and then kind of what
The-
did smart ball appear? Because I think smart ball, is it fair to say smart ball has been kind of your most visible success, or
Oh, well, yeah, it's been the longest. It's good. It pops. So people have to get another one. So there's a little design. It's like it's
Way
pretty
in
cool.
front of
Like, yeah, totally. Like, nobody ever said, "Hey, I burst my 7-iron." And but the smart
right.
ball, I've met people that have bought 4 or 5 of them over the years. just because they give it away or
How hard are
their
they
dog
squeezing
ate
it?
it.
Mhm.
Right? Or they just people, they'll leave it on the side of their bag and roll it around in the trunk, and next thing you know. But it was the third product. It was the first was the club. Second was the educator, or the white wrist gizmo. That's a 2.0 right now. I've got it right here, actually. You probably have it handy.
Oh, yeah.
better than I do.
Wait, I'm telling you, I can do this.
Really
I can do this all
Yeah.
day.
Oh shit! There you go. Boom! Look at you.
And what
yeah,
is
so
what does that? What does that one do?
So people have
Hayes, Vanna,
you know,
demonstrate.
Yes, Vanna White.
I wish you
if
hadn't asked me
So-
that. Now we're
so what
starting to get
happens
into
is-
products I haven't actually tried.
right?
Yeah.
People don't really know where they're. Once the club goes out of your peripheral,
Yeah.
people are lost. Everybody. So sometimes it's nice to be able to kind of know where that golf club is at the top of the swing.
Sure.
And if they're super cuppy and they lose that connection, and there's a million drills that you can do with this thing. I mean, that's the most basic, simple one. And then I always say to people, I go, they might go, oh, your products are too expensive. That's the voice I'm going to use when I'm
Yep, I
talking
love
about
it.
something
Yeah.
else. So like,
Yeah.
complaining to me,
I can
Yep,
always
and,
add some modulation to it to really make it pop. Yeah.
right? I got a cute story for you there. But they, I think the videos, like, Hazy, you've probably watched a couple of the protocol videos, the instructional pieces. It's like, okay, you buy something for $60 or $70 or whatever I sell them for. But it's pretty good coaching, I think, that comes in part with it. Like, so it's not as though you're buying a widget and there's not some way to kind of help you figure out how to use the widget and get better. Now, some people are hopeless, not gonna lie. I do meet hopeless cases. And usually those people are the impatient ones that can't, just settle down and just take one step at a time and be okay missing. It's okay to miss, I tell people. When they get to a golf school, I go, hey, listen, put your hand up if you suck at golf. And I'm looking at 15 people and everybody just raises their hand. Yep, me too. And I say, if you surrender these 3 days, I do 3-day and 2-day camps, but if you surrender and you do what we ask and you don't worry about the outcomes, you're going to see a massive change. But if every outcome disturbs you so much that you can't stay with the process, then I don't know what to tell you, And so I try to set the table pretty quick at the golf camp. They're like, "Ooh, he seemed really nice in the videos," and now he's all serious, coach. No, but we do. We have a good time. We put the music on, and I'm serious, but I'm also a goofball. Like we do some silly stuff at the golf school, and just we're playing a game. You're blessed to play this stupid game. Mm-hmm. We're outside. We're hitting golf balls. I can't help it if your uncle didn't know how to teach you the interlock grip like 25 years ago, and you've suffered from post-traumatic grip disorder for all that time, and then we teach you how to do it right, and it feels weird. It feels weird, Uncle Marty. I'm like, I'm really sorry. It feels weird.
Keep doing it; it'll feel right.
Exactly.
It took me a long time because I was a recovering baseball player in high school and everything like that. So I used a 10-finger grip, and
yeah.
It took me like one winter. I just had to grab a golf club every day and take a few swings with an interlocking grip, and now I could never, ever go back. But yeah, that's certainly one of those things that could take you a long time.
And we're not talking Game of Thrones winter. It's just like one winter, dude. No big deal, right? Like, put a little time in. That was a long time ago now. It was like you had an endless winter.
Now we're talking about the camps that you're on, Martin. What would you say? Do you see like a trending common fault among the golfers that you have come in as far as does everybody get one thing in the swing consistently wrong, or is it pretty wide across the board?
I would say, so let me give you the demo of who comes to see me. The demo is like 45 to 90, but usually like the sweet spot's 55 to 70. And then the odd time there's a young dude, like there'll be a guy like you, like bright-eyed, bushy-faced Jason shows up, right? And I'm like, man, your wife just, hey, I just got a 4-star review popped up on my screen. And anyway, just 5 stars, sorry.
Hey.
So anyway, people show up. To the person, I swear to everybody watching this, all 5 of your followers, there are.
You have watched our show.
I'm just kidding.
Touche. No, we found our clip. We found it.
They have a jacked up grip. They honestly, it's not that hard to hold a golf club. I swear it's not. And yet people it's a bastardized, like, unbelievable way, because like you need a little rhythm in these things. You need to be able to like leverage it, let it lay back a certain way. And you got to be able to know where the club head is. And people, I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 people have a bad grip that come to the golf school. The problem is only 4 or 5 out of the 10 would agree with me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, even just you describing that, I'm literally thinking right now, like, oh my God, I never thought my grip was an issue, but if 90% of people have an issue with their grip, I'm 100% one of those people. Like, there's no way.
I'm telling you, but you know what though? It's like so at the camp, I'd say average handicap. We get guys that are the odd really good player, but that's rare. It's usually there's the best player maybe is like a 4. Then it like you get a 7, you get maybe a 10, then you get all like those teens in there. And then you get the odd like 21, 22. Then there's like 2 or 3 people that are, just still breaking the plastic off the irons and ready to go. Like they've never really played much, and that's fine. And so what we do is we have, I've got 5 coaches and myself, and so we look at the group and go, okay, how does the group best mesh? If people have to stay together, like we'll say to a couple, we'll say, hey, do you want to be with your husband or do you want me to split you up? And they'll say, oh no, split us up, or no, we want to stay together. Okay. So we'll keep people together if they ask, but we'll put them in groups appropriate to where they're at. Like if you have 3 steep slicers, those 3 people will be together, because everything those 3 people do will be learning how to create some, room in the downswing so they're not way stuck over the top. Newbies, they have to learn, it's a different language. Like they don't know anything about anything except, how to have a poor interlocking grip and to keep their head down.
Now, I grip it like this. This is correct, right?
Yeah, that's
it's prayer hands.
In
right.
prayer, exactly.
And then here's the steeple, right?
Right. And there's all your people, right? And I can't get over Brian. Like Brian, you're so tiny. You're teeny weeny. Like you're seriously like a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch.
It's just
get really
better?
close. There you go. Yeah.
Stop better.
Much
I
better.
just see,
Stop better.
yeah.
That wasn't
Right,
a
I
request
could
for
put
more
a-
Ryan.
I could
It
I
looks
could put
fine on my
more,
screen, but
double up my contacts maybe, and I can see you better. But
There
yeah,
you go.
no. But the golf camp, we have a blast. It's 3 days, and make friends and have a laugh, and people come back like I have people that come back every year, which I'll say to them, like, why do you come back every year? And they'll be like, well, I have a good time and I pick up something. I'm like, okay, cool. But then we have the way for them to post videos in their, what we call a training space. I use Coach Now, which is, there's platforms that are really good for student and teacher. And I've been on Coach Now for about 13 years. And I've got 5,080 students in there. And so if a student uploads a video, I get pinged, hey, like today I had like 3, and people think I'm going to get overwhelmed by videos. I don't. We might get none some days, might get 8 another day. And it's pretty quick to say, all right, hey, consider this. You look good, but, or, you know what I mean? Send them a drill, because we have a library of stuff we can send off to kind of get them back online if they're lost.
So speaking of your library, and I know that's one of the things that makes Tour Striker so appealing is you as you said before, like you buy a piece of training equipment, it comes with training videos, it comes with how-tos, how not tos, all those different things. How long have you been making those videos? Like, is this 13 years? Like, have you been making them since you made the?
So making videos, interesting. So I was a club pro, and I was a failed player. So I played college golf. I was decent. I got my Canadian Tour card. I played for 3 years. I played nationwide tour events. Wasn't very good though. I mean, I was good enough. I was, good, but I wasn't that good. And so I was in Palm Desert working a winter job between Canadian tours seasons. And I got asked to be the head pro of a place in 1996. And it was a nice place. And it was like, man, it was a lot of money, for a, 26-year-old dude, and beautiful club. And I thought, shit, I'm ready to go play the Canadian Tour again. Boy, am I going to tear it up this year. And so I called some of my mentors, and they're like, "Oh, no, good, take that job." So next thing you know, I'm a club pro, and it was nice. It was a nice club. I was in way over my head. It was a super high end, not super high end, but it was one of those places that it was high end. It was a lot of new wealth, newly retired, high expectation, needed a lot of service. Luckily, I'd had some mentors in my day that were pretty damn good in Toronto, so I kind of knew how to, run an operation just from being a part of and around one. And then right away, it's like, all right, well, we're taking a hard left turn on a playing career into a club pro career, and I tried to do my best, and I tried to make it fun. Like I tried to member events, a lot of fun, theme parties, dress up parties, special treatment at the first tee. Like major events, it'd be coat and tie table, apples, bananas, mints, and announce their name on the first tee kind of thing. Then there'd be silly events where I'm being a goofball, trying to make golf entertaining, yet also be a leader to the program. So I enjoyed it. I was a club pro 16 years. Yeah. So there I go down a rant again, and I'm lost wherever I was going with that. But
No, but so
Yeah.
in that case, this is just pure naivete. But when you become a club pro, how do you know how to be a club pro if you've never been a club pro? Like, how do you
good point.
How do you know how to do
You
that?
know what? So you have a ridiculous belief in your ability to pull the wool over people's eyes. I'm serious. You either think you can do something or you can't, right? And I look back on it, my whole life has been a excessive belief in my abilities, to which I'm grateful I had that, because I could have been the other way, or I could be how I am now. And I don't think I'm an asshole. I think I'm a pretty good guy, really. But I do believe I'm good at what I do.
We'll let you know when we're done here.
Yeah, you let me know. I had four opinions.
Yeah.
4 opinions. But the game of golf has been good to me. It's been fun. The people in it have been a blast, from my mentors, and just, playing as a kid and then playing in college, and just, believing that you can do it. Now, you asked about shooting videos. Like that goes, when YouTube came on, I got my YouTube membership, I want to say, or account in 2006. And what I realized was that you could make a video, and back then the internet was like it was just Wild West, and, you could send out newsletters and things, and, there's these .com companies folding, and you had all these things. And so I was like, okay, now newsletters went from this thing you mail to you email this thing out to all your members. Okay, well, how about you put a video in it? Like, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. So I started doing these stupid videos at my club in Reno, Nevada with a Sony Betacam and our Handycam or Video 8 or whatever the tape was. And I would do them on everything. I would do them about like the Valentine's Day dinner. Speaking of coming up, you guys better get out and get your shit together, by the way. You only have a couple of days left. I'm already looked after, taken care of, and I'm lying through my teeth right now. But you guys go take care of stuff.
This will come out after. This will come out after.
You guys got work to do. Anyway, so what I do is I'd go make these videos and I'd put them in the newsletter, and members loved it. Loved it. Videos about the golf course condition or where to take a drop or, hey, this is a project or whatever. So it was a sense of communication they really enjoyed. And then there was nobody really doing golf videos on YouTube. And I wasn't trying to be the next teaching pro on YouTube, but all of a sudden, in my stupid little editing software suite I bought, that it took a whole night, by the way, to render a video. So I'd shoot the video, right? Put it in my PC, hit render, just kind of cross my fingers. It would all just kind of collate and come out the next day. And then I would look the next day and there was a video and I could upload it to YouTube, and then I could get the link to it and drop it in the newsletter. And then next thing you know, I'm like, YouTube people are like, wow, it was great. And so, I'd done so many of those that kind of coincided with the training club coming out. So the training club launched in 2009, in January 2009, and May 2010, it was like a massive infomercial on the Golf Channel, and that thing ran for 18 months. You saw that thing, it was on multiple times a week, because if you see a commercial all the time, it means it's making money, because you don't run a commercial unless it's, making you money. And that thing did really well. And so I had this opportunity back in the day. There was a platform called Revolution Golf. Maybe you guys know it, maybe you don't. You guys are youngish whippersnaps.
Sounds very familiar, but
so before Performance Golf, which is the granddaddy of them all right now, which has been awesome to me. Revolution Golf, this guy, great guy, Justin Tupper, reaches out totally by accident because my neighbor had met him at like a marketing mastermind thing. And he goes, hey, my buddy, I just sat with this guy. He's got this golf website. You guys might hit it off. And that changed my life. Like, it literally changed my life, because the infomercial on the Golf Channel was a 30-minute spot. And so it was starting to not pay for itself. So you got to pull it. It's done. Hey, it had its time in the sun. Well, I got on the phone with him. He goes, hey, I think we can sell a ton more of these things, because this audience is different. We email tips directly to the inbox. People watch, asynchronous video whenever they want. They don't. It's not like you have to watch TV. You just open up. It's like what everybody knows, how they get their golf instruction now whenever they want it. And so he goes, would you meet me at a place we arranged to meet in San Luis Obispo, of all places? I flew from Bend, Oregon to San Luis Obispo. And he goes, make 4 or 5 videos for me, just so that the audience can get to know you, because if they get to know you, they're more likely to want to buy it if they feel like they like you. And so there's a film crew there, and he's got the crew from, I don't know, maybe 8 to noon. And so he wants, 4 videos, 5 videos, and he doesn't know me, but he doesn't know that I've been making videos for, a couple of years, 3 years at that point. And so when the red light went on, and it was a red light then, it was like a bigger camera, and okay, and action, you know what I mean? I'm like 40 videos later, oh yeah. I'm like, oh no, this is like, I'm going to crush this mother scratcher. Yeah. You give me a broken toothpick, I'll give you a golf tip about it. Okay. I mean it.
Hayes would buy it.
Right?
Hayes would buy
I
it.
actually have that broken toothpick. It works. It works.
This is all part and parcel with the MacGyver school. This is amazing.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
It was. Right. So I thought, he's got, and so that was, so I do all these videos, which he thought were great. And he puts them on his platform. And back then it was Jim McLean. It was, guy out at Vegas. What's his name? Swing Machine Golf. David Copperfield. No, there wasn't, Roger Fredericks. These are, Jim McLean's a legend. And then I can't remember the guy's name out of Vegas. Nice guy. Roger Fredericks, me, and then a bunch of Jim McLean's associates would make videos. And they, like Jim's great, like, but he always looked like the poor guy, like he's got a big hat on. He's always got sunglasses on, and so if he was outside, he was, the guy just was like a vampire, poor guy. Like when the sun came out, he had to be covered up. And so for me, like I'm half Paisan, half Serbian, and, I could be a little bit more gregarious. I didn't have to wear sunglasses. I could talk to the camera, give the people shit. Like I'm giving you shit right now, because people like a little bit of fun. And so, I was popular on that platform. And, and here's the thing too. I used to end every video with, hey, Martin Chuck signing off from the Blah 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 Golf Club. Leave your questions and comments down below. And so it was just people ask 50 questions after a video. So I'm like, typing like a mother scratcher after they'd run my tips like twice a week. And that evening it would be, okay, I've got, an hour and a half for 2 hours of homework to do. But here's what I knew that would be true. Like I knew that would push me into this awareness of people that nobody knew who Martin Chuck was. Yeah, he invented some training club, but Gary McCord I hired as my spokesperson. You see, Now people hire me to be a spokesperson, which is crazy. Like I see your Vortex hat on. I've got my Vortex stuff right here. It's fantastic.
Yep.
So people send me stuff all the time. I'm a spokesperson for all kinds of golf goodies because, it's like, all right, here's why I like it. I can talk in front of a camera. I don't need 48 takes to do it. And people find me believable, which is unbelievable. No, I'm just joking. But, I'm just honest about it. And then the golf stuff, I'm honest too. Like people laugh when there's a little self-deprecation about the game and, why we suck at it. And some people are so bloody gifted at it. Like look at Thomas Dietrich just won.
So good.
You every time you thought he was going to shit the bed, like, didn't you think so? Maybe Saturday, maybe just, right there, that pot, I don't know. And then they switch over to somebody making one. Like, it's only 3 shots. Well, one little quick hook in a lake changes everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this kid's so good, and he's been so good for so long. He's phenomenal. He's a Tour Striker user, smart ball guy. And he finally, like this amazing talent, just couldn't be denied, man. Couldn't be denied. He's such a strapping dude, thumps it down the middle, 340. Made everything. Was like he looked like it was. He might win 5 times this year.
Yeah.
Like once he gets over that, like, hey, I'm really good.
He had such a good season last year too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he didn't win, but it was just one of those. He was on the leaderboard constantly.
Oh,
it just felt like it was a matter of time. And I watched, I think, every shot of like on ESPN and Golf Channel and CBS on Sunday, and he didn't make anything. He was even through 9, I think, or 1 under through 9, and everybody else was 3 or 4 or whatever, and sort of making a chase. And then I think he birdied the last 4 holes. He already had it 15. Won. He already had it won, and it
was 3. He missed a shorty to go 4 up on after 15, after hitting the green in 2, which is not that easy there. I mean, the guy's hit it so far now, it's ridiculous. But and then he hit it to like 10 inches on 16. That's it. That's
awesome.
Lovely.
That was
17.
Awesome.
He thumps it to the front of the green, hits a pretty good chip to 10 feet, makes it, and then 18. That lake, by the way, fellas, is in play for 99.9% of mortals. These guys nowadays, like if flying at 285, whatever. Just nothing.
It's not even a thought for them. They're just, that's fine. There's not a 3 in front of it. I can carry it.
Right. You're right. And a lot of the guys now, if there's a 3, they can carry it. If there's a 3-2, they can carry it. Like
crazy.
It's obnoxious.
It's crazy a bit.
I'm standing on the range on Tuesday afternoon, and my dear buddy, one of my longest, oldest pals, Brendan Little, was a very good player. Still a very good player. He's actually going to be playing in the senior PGA this year. He had qualified through the.
That's awesome.
He qualified through the senior PGA Club Pro Championship. So, and he's damn good. And he caddies for Woodland. He caddied for Wiersy for 10 years, and he caddied for Camilo Villegas, and then Sean O'Hare for a cup of coffee, and now Woodland for a number of years through the U.S. Open.
Cool.
When he had, and Gary's a great guy, and I'm just thrilled that he's healthy. And
that's incredible.
Just stand and watch him hit this little peely fade that is flying 320, 325, 3. And I'm telling you, he's not hitting. He hit a couple that didn't fade, but they weren't. No ball he hit out of the 20 I watched were quote out of play.
Wow.
Like he hit a couple that didn't really fade, and then maybe a couple that maybe bled a bit more to the right, and the others were just And so once, he played nicely. He finished in the top 20, and I looked through his round a bit, and he had a couple drives like 360, 370. Yeah, crazy.
It's
and
insane.
I played TPC, and it's like, it's the guys are so fast now. Like to have $190 ball speed in your back pocket, or 185, or like, to me, like 170 is like it. I had a couple of years ago, I went on this like mission to hit 170 ball speed at 50 whatever 453, and it was a lot of work, man. It was a lot of work to get to where I thought I was going to break, to see some guys like Thomas Dietrich just step up and hit this roasty peeler, $182 ball speed, and it's
I told my wife that we were watching. There's one, the carry to get to the fairway is 285 or 275 or something. It's all over. It's all like wasteland, and then the fairway from their tips. And I just started laughing because it was Scheffler, and the bunker, in order to carry the bunker, you had to fly at 307 or something like that. He flew at 312. Lands perfectly in the fairway, rolls out to 335. Not swinging hard. It's just I mean, he is, of course, but it doesn't look like there's any effort there. Like, their speed is so natural to them. Like watching Jake Knapp swing, it's so beautiful.
He's the modern day Freddie Couples.
My God,
he's also a good sized guy. Pushes around weight pretty easy.
He's ripped. I mean, his
coach is Dana Dahlquist is his coach, great coach. Yeah, no, Jake Knapp he looks like he fell asleep out there and hits it 9 miles.
But I literally turned to my wife and I said, I don't know. I'd have to hit a perfect drive to get it to the fairway. Like, right. just onto the short grass would be a perfect drive with everything I've got.
Right.
And these guys are that's their 4-iron or something. Just
yeah,
ridiculous.
you know what though?
Awesome.
I mean, think about it. It's just it's the athlete, and so people come into my camp all the time, and this lovely lady who was a very good golfer. Actually, she was the best golfer of all the campers. And she was probably retired dentist. I'm going to guess she was, I'm going to say she was 60, but really in real years, she was pushing like 70 maybe. And because she might watch this, she might be your like 6th fan. I don't know. But
she's got a terrific grip.
She said to me, she goes,
she does now.
She goes to me, I want to hit it farther. Okay. And I said to her, I go, okay, so indoors, they make a swing with a club that's got these little globes. It's Gears Golf. It's a 3D club analysis thing. It's really cool. So she swung 6-iron, 82 miles an hour. Okay. Yeah. 82 miles an hour. And she swung her driver 89 miles an hour. And I'm like, I said to her, I go, listen, you want to hit it farther? I'm about to send you for drug testing right now.
Yeah, right.
And she's looking at me like doe-eyed. I'm like, you don't realize there are lady pros that don't swing as fast as you. Like literally, I could name you 6 of them that don't hit it as far as you. Now they hit it more solid than you and a little bit more consistent than you because they're also 30. But I mean, this lady could roast it. She had great rhythm. Everything about, like, she played golf her whole life. She put her hands on perfect. She had a couple little things. Her issue wasn't driving it. And her issue was just like touching the ground in the right place with pitch shots and half wedges and, those kind of scoring things, like stepping up and hitting a driver out there a long way. And her issue, like, wasn't speed, obviously, a little bit of club pass. She had a tendency to be a little too inside out, which make, hook the ball a bit too much. So we tried to get that a little bit more in check, but yeah, no, that was something to see. And I was telling you about the 2 90-year-olds that came to the camp. Yeah. One 90-year-old was a, bona fide 90-year-old, and he had suspenders. That was adorable.
What's wrong with that?
He had suspenders. Nothing's wrong with that. Let me see here. You got him on now. The other guy is
they're under
Fred.
his shirt.
And so Fred could swing at 90 miles an hour still. So at 90 years old, he could swing at 90 miles an hour.
Holy
cow.
cow.
And so that,
Fantastic.
like, that's a bomb, dude. Like, if at 90 miles an hour.
Oh, so he's playing from the front tees. That's not fair.
Well, whatever. I mean, at 90, you should be able to tee off from the fringe. Like, congratulations for making it that far. But he literally, if he hit it perfect, you can squeak out a 250 ball. Like 90 is 250, like mathematically. And it's like, he hit a couple roasty little tumbly draws that I swear were every bit of 250. And It was unbelievable. The poor guy had that little bit of the tremors and, couldn't putt and stuff a little bit, but man, could he hit it. It was fun to watch. So it's,
That's really
it's
cool.
there. And again, it comes back to a great grip. That's what those two people had in common. Great grip, nice rhythm, letting the leverage expand in the right place. And, you can hit it pretty far when you can do that for your physicality.
Hey, I wanted to circle back though. You talked about Dietrich using the smart ball. I keep it's pretty often that you'll turn on the Golf Channel and live from the range, and you'll see your product on the range. I've seen McIlroy, Justin Rose, Max Homa. Are you offering your product? Hey guys, try this, or do you just kind of get the free advertising of these folks are using your product?
This year, so if a tour pro reaches out through Instagram or something, that's usually how they'll find me, and I'll send them, of course. But this year, Bernie Garson, who's a putter grip guy, he travels probably 50% of the men's tour, and then the ladies. So he keeps some stock with him. So then I'll just say, hey, find Bernie on the Tuesday or the Monday or Tuesday, and he keeps a half dozen of each gizmo. That I just kind of restock him, when he needs it. But a lot of the guys will ask for stuff in the off season, just to try it out. Like there's not much of an off season anymore, but they'll say, hey, listen, I'm going to be practicing here for a few weeks. Do you mind? And they're great. And I'll say, if you don't mind, I'd love a video, but you don't have to send me one, because they know, like I went to the Ryder Cup in Italy last year, took my mom and my wife, and we had a blast. And on the range, okay, you got Rory, Sam Burns, who else was using it? There was a few. Oh man.
Is it Fitzpatrick? Who? I feel like
Fitzpatrick. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Fitz, he was using it. He's a great guy. It was just like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's just such a simple thing. You blow it up and you put it between your forearms. I mean, technically you could use a balloon, but you see George Gankus has his students use a balloon. Like, all right, the wind's going to blow it and, there you go, you're a litter bug. But I mean, I think people like a little bit more structure and then the lanyard and, and people go, well, it's $48 or something like that. And I'm like, okay, well, talk to me about your $200 tennis shoes then. I mean, it's like, oh, and by the way, there's a bunch of videos going to help you figure out your swing that come with that $48 there. I
don't think enough people appreciate the videos and the protocols that are included with the products.
We have a guy that's a buddy of ours who was saying there was some, I actually don't know what training aid he was talking about, but it was some kind of a plastic block that I believe you can put like an alignment rod in at different angles. And he was like, it might have been the brick. I think there's a few now that have come out, sure. But he was saying something like, if this was half the price it was, I would probably own all of the training aids. And it got me thinking, like, how do you figure out how to price something? And other than it's what people will pay. I do understand that there's that aspect, right? Something is worth what people will pay for.
Yeah.
But as a consumer, how do you determine which one is worth the price and which one isn't? I mean, for me, the training videos are the things that sort of ticket into the worth it category, because I bought a grip trainer as part of a sort of we tried it on Amazon, finding cheap things to see, and there were literally no instructions as to how to put it on, how to know if it was, so like you could have put it on completely weak or completely strong and completely ruined your training. Yes, technically your hands are in the right position. I mean, your hands are.
We talking about a grip trainer right now?
It's literally yes. No.
You could have put it on and ruined anyway.
But that's exactly my point.
Instructions are important, especially when it's that sensitive.
But that one was $7.99, which is why it was sort of part of the, like, it was almost a joke article of like, yeah, we tried these garbage products for you, so please don't go buy them.
Right.
That being said, how as a consumer can you try to determine what is worth it and what isn't? Because there's a lot of stuff on the market. There's a lot, so much, man, of stuff.
I had this lovely guy. He's got this putter gizmo, and I actually like it. And he called me, and anytime somebody wants to ask me a question, I'm like, yeah, give me a call. So people call me on the way into work or something, and And this guy's got a cool putting gizmo. And he goes, like, what do I have to do to sell these things? And I said, well, how much does it cost to make? And he goes, well, it costs $5 to make. I said, well, that's good. Because now if it's $5, I mean, unless you have like a 6-to-1 or a 10-to-1 margin on what somebody would pay for that, there's a perceived value in it. And so it's got to have a perceived value of this cost benefit proposition. Now, protocols are, I always think like, okay, so I've got a bit of an edge and then I'm a coach and I can express myself and I also have a gizmo and maybe that's why maybe somebody would pay for it. Not necessarily though. There's a lot of DIY guys that'll go in the garage and make something, which is cool,
yeah.
good for them. And, but I said to the guy, I go, a lot of it's luck. I mean, it really is. Like when Justin Rose, like the smart ball was out a couple years and we really had pretty slow sales, to be honest. And then all of a sudden he's using it and he's playing well. And people are like, what's that? And then, we're selling way more of them. And this is 10 years ago. And then Rory McIlroy started using the damn thing and literally broke my website. Like the website broke. And, and that was cool. And so, Lydia Ko and a bunch of people. And then there's all the competition that comes into it as well. And the knockoffs and the ones that are like it. And, people try to work around patents and things, which is, and power to them, I guess. I'll tell you what, one part of business, which actually I'm pretty excited about right now is that last week, the United States Postal Service shut down shipments. Do you know what the de minimis act is?
No.
Well, okay, for the Chinese, or not just Chinese, but overseas, people can ship stuff into the U.S. without taxes and duties if it's under $800. There's a lot of stuff under $800.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Well, including every ma and pa patented little device that some guy made that was successful that somebody can now knock off and put on Temu or put in an Amazon pop-up Amazon store or on eBay. And I'll tell you what, like I've done well in my life and I don't need a damn thing. I swear I'm blessed and I'm like content. Life is good. And, it's like, but I tell you what, life would be a couple $1 million better if that thing that they just did last week was, because think about it, man. It's a big racket because if a company can just say, oh, look what's selling, and we can make those. In fact, we do make those. Let's put 20,000 of those out the back door and ship into the United States for pennies on the dollar. And we'll let this dude do the heavy lifting of marketing and trying to support and prove that product. And we'll just ship them in. You know what? And so if a company wants to cheat and they have to follow the real law, which is, okay, put it on a pallet, ship it to the U.S., let some grumpy guy at customs go through it and issue you some kind of tariff and fees, and you pay that, and then you take possession of it, and then you get to sell it within the country. That was taken away, I don't know how many years ago. See what I mean? And then it was a gong show, and then people will be like, well, I love my Temu whatevers. I love my little tchotchkes I wait 10 days for, and they cost $4.
Yeah.
But it's just, people don't realize it's crushing small business. Because I'll tell you, it's not easy, people, to sell stuff online. It is not easy.
To that
tricky.
point, I when I was actually going to ask you that question. So on Amazon, I entered Tour Striker Smart Ball, and right away, first hit, right? But then it's an endless scroll of different knockoffs and different versions of it. I mean, here's a chance for a cathartic moment here. Have you been getting ripped off in a lot of different ways and creative ways over the past few years? I mean, it's got to be it's got to be frustrating as hell to watch that happen.
You know what? Many 7 figures, bud. Many.
No kidding.
In fact, and not only that, the frustrating too is once you kind of get, it's like I have it's a small operation, and my wife has a couple employees and a couple that are on the ready for when, bigger weekends and stuff that have to pick and pack. And, we have a little warehouse, like a 5,000 square footer, and that's where our stuff goes. And it's in Gilbert, Arizona, up the road from where we live, like 10 minutes. So it's not only we get knockoffs like crazy, but we have our employees in every down moment are trying to shut down an Amazon store or an eBay store. And the lovely folks at Amazon and eBay shut it down. And Shopify has been actually great about it, because they're another avenue to sell a ton of stuff, and Shopify doesn't futz around. Like if you show them like, hey, snap the patent in front of the deal, they turn it off. Amazon's a little slower to respond. They need, you got to prove a bunch of things. The problem with that is you got to prove it every week.
Right.
Because,
Right.
Sunny Chun, Happy Face golf products is then, Johnny Happy Charlie Face the next week.
Right.
Like
It's
literally
a new
using the
email
name,
every week.
the
Just
names
endless,
they choose.
yeah.
And it's just a pop-up store.
Yeah.
And so, it's like, that's the frustration with it, Amazon's a marketplace and I love it. I love using Amazon. I don't like going shopping. Don't want to shop at all. I go, Amazon, point. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But I also, I do think the product should be legitimized as far as, okay, who made it? Where is it from? Is it legit? Is it a knockoff? Because I guarantee you, like I've never met Jeff Bezos. I've met his sister and I met his brother. They've been to my golf school and they are flipping lovely people.
Oh, it's fascinating. Yeah.
So they're fantastic. And they've been around the freaking planet in a spaceship, spacecraft, right? Like crazy. And they couldn't be nicer, and of course, naturally, I'm not going to bitch about, pop up Amazon stores to them, but it's like,
While I've got you here,
while I have you here,
You know why you slice? Because you've ripped me off.
Yeah, right.
that's right.
No.
Talk to your brother and I'll
No.
teach you. Right. Yeah.
but it's like,
man. Yeah.
it's just, they try they would be inundated. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
you want business to flow. I get it. And you want people to be able to make money, but it should be legitimate. And hopefully what happened last week, through the new administration, whether you like it or not, by the one that some dude in Nebraska or Wisconsin made, and he sends, and it's his business and it's life, not some, flash in the pan knockoff from overseas. So
No problem. There is one other device in the stable that I'd like to ask you about, and I think you put out a reel on Instagram rather recently about it. Right now, I don't see PlaneMate, which I own, on the Tour Striker catalog, but I do see it coming out under the Pro Center flagship. Do you mind kind of sharing what's transpired there?
You know what? I don't mind at all. David Woods was my co-inventor of the PlaneMate. He was an assistant pro of mine years ago, a friend of mine for years and years. And we came up with a product and it was a home run. It was one of his assistants thought of the name PlaneMate. And so we had our differences of opinion on some things. And so we just elected, you know what, you just sell your stuff and I'll sell mine. And so I said, you can even keep the name, knock yourself out, and I'm going to call it the Swing Trainer. So, I made some small mods to it, in particular the bands, because the bands, unfortunately, over time they would kind of get brittle in the sun and stuff like that and fail. They'd last a good long period of time, but still, like, the bands are upgraded. There's some stuff with the belt I changed, and he went and changed his too. So I haven't seen his version of it, which is still called the PlaneMate. Mine's a Swing Trainer, and power to him. So we just went our separate ways, and businesses can be a little funky sometimes. That's what I'd say about that.
Yeah. This is difficult for me, though, because now my wife's going to hear this and she's going to understand the background when I go explain to her I got to upgrade my PlaneMate to the new Swing Trainer.
That's true.
Oh yeah, but you got to say, it's a swing trainer, babe. It's not just a PlaneMate.
Well,
I need a full Swing Trainer.
Absolutely.
And Uncle Marty put out some new protocol videos
That's
that you
right.
want to get access to.
Amen.
Yeah, you hear that, babe? This will be the last one, I promise.
Next month.
I got
Yeah, that's gonna be great for you, Marty.
Hayes
Just
so well.
right. Hazel by this, so there's one.
That's right. There's one. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Is there something that somebody else makes that you think, oh, I wish I had thought of that?
Oh, geez, yeah, for sure.
Because there's got to be some stuff that you're just like,
Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
love.
I don't want to
brilliant.
answer for you, but I mean, I think, Marty, to throw you a compliment, I think you're kind of quick to sing the praises of other products that aren't necessarily your
Always.
brainchild. Like the divot board was not yours, but I've seen you say, "Hey, this is a great product."
Yeah, no, I like a lot. I'm looking at this. What's his name? Jason. I think the putter cup. It's right here in front of me. It's awesome. The One Club is a great. It's this fantastic thing. I love it. I love the stack. The speed
Yeah.
speed training. You know why I love it? It's it's a weighted stick, right? But why I really like it is the only tool you need to change the frickin' weights is your hand, and then it's one. It's you don't have three of them, and then it's got the app, which is amazing, and then they've even made it better by having their own radar that talks to the app, and so it's just this neat thing that Sasha McKenzie, fellow Canuck, and then Marty Jertson, who lives down here in Phoenix, really, really good guy and great player. They developed that, and it's awesome. I mean,
Sasha's a friend of the pod.
He's one of the five. He's one of the 5 subscribers you mentioned earlier.
Is he good? Yeah.
It's really only our
that.
guests. It's our guests and us. It's
hey, we're hanging out.
I did a stack session today.
Oh, did you?
To
Good.
Get back in form. Oh yeah.
I kind of started too, and then the only problem with me, like I'll get going, and then it'll be like, you wait till you boys hit 50. Let me tell you, you'll get going, and then it'll be like, so you gotta. I'd say all the speed training things are fantastic, and the stack's the best of them, and I've got them all, and I like. There's different things of some of them I like. I just like the complete, whole closed loop that they have with the app and the radar they have now. It's expensive, but I mean, a lot of golfers are absolute suckers, so they'll buy anything. But it's a good quality purchase. Like, I'm just being honest. Like I tell people, it's like my campers, for example. They're all mature, well-heeled people. I always joke. I say, you're my favorite kind of people. And they, there's a bit of a pause, and I say, you have time and money, and you're at my camp. They laugh, and that's the thing. Like that. No Brinks truck has fallen us to the funeral home. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you love something, you're passionate about your hobby, and you work hard, have at it, man. You know what I mean? Your kids, that few grand you blow on golf tchotchkes, they'll be okay if it's not in their will or whatever. I'm not saying go into debt to buy golf tchotchkes.
I tell mine that every day.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and say Uncle Marty said.
That's right.
And
you've got ramen. I've got the lag shot.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine.
My kids would prefer ramen, Matt.
Right.
So
Yeah, exactly.
Ramen's a winner.
That's good in my book.
I only took out
ramen's a
one
winner.
other mortgage to get PlaneMate, so it's not a big deal. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I really like PlaneMate. I really like that. The protocols and the videos and everything. I still do. I lent the PlaneMate to somebody else, but I still do those like protocols in my warm up and the same hand positions and everything. I think it's such a great warm up.
Yeah. And so we learned some stuff from that. So I've got, I learned stuff about what went well with those protocols and what I would have done different. So I've got my new ones. I'm actually shooting those next week, and we just put our order in. So we'll probably I'll be pre-selling it. Oh, I don't know, whenever my guys get the landing pages organized, but
Hayes is at your website right now.
Hayes is
He's
writing himself a note.
Yeah, it'll be
He's
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect as the weather starts getting better.
Like,
Hayes,
is there a
you'll be able to-
pre-sale? Because I am ready to
Oh,
purchase
yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Friends of the pod. Friends of the
Right.
pod.
Yeah,
Friends
I
of the
think,
pod
I think we just
go.
became the official podcast of Tour Striker Nation. I think is what happened.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, Marty, you mentioned again your campers. Can we circle back to that? So if you mentioned 2 or 3 day camp experiences, can you kind of, what does a camper get? So the 2 or 3 day camp, you've got assistance, but they're also getting coaching from you. And then there's a follow-on online follow-up. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. So the camp, I'll just kind of run you through the day. You show up for breakfast, at the Ravens.
Say no more.
All the places, exactly. Show up for food, right?
So
Like the first day is a little bit of a testing scenario where, you get on a launch monitor, you get a few drives, we see what your general delivery pattern is, and it only takes a few to really see it. It's not like you have to hit 15 to know if you're a slicer hooker or whatever. And some people say, well, I never do that. I'm like, okay, buddy. Sure you don't. And then they go
Do you get
inside.
Do you get a lot of hookers at the camp?
It's only when it's slow in Vegas. Only when
Got
it's
So
Yeah,
it's
you
too
set me up
easy.
for that one.
Just a little
I know, right?
softball. Yeah.
Yeah, when there's not a convention in Vegas, no.
Yeah.
So we do a little bit of testing, and then we put people in groups, and then basically we just say, hey, this is the common things people cannot do. I'm telling you, very few people in the world can chip it 10 feet in the air 20 feet in the air and have any confidence and do it 2 times in a row. I mean it. Like, good players can, but to literally stand there and hit nice little chip shots and pitch shots and then develop it into what we call the cornerstone shot, which is just like a 9-3 type shot, which is really where you kind of learn how to swing a golf club. And then from there, once you can kind of swing it 9-3, kind of L to L, then you can kind of, push it a little bit more until it breaks. Then you got to rein it in a little bit, So honestly, the opportunities are unbelievable. Like we see, I call it the executive, like, these people say, oh, 6 handicap and I really can't pitch the ball. You need to really pitch. So I see that all the time. Like, they're guys pretty skilled, hits the driver okay, physically, hits it out there okay, or sort of reliably. And let's face it, a driver, if you hit it sort of reliably hard, you're a winner, man. Like nobody hits it on a rope every time. Mo Norman passed away years ago. But if you can if you have a pattern and you hit it sort of hard for your physicality, and that might be 80 miles an hour, might be 110 miles an hour. But if you kind of know where it's going to go, the theme of where it's going to go, and the odd wild one, don't even worry about it because everybody does that anyway, and then
that's encouraging.
Well, it is. I mean,
No, it is,
but it's
genuinely. Yeah.
But you got to be able to pitch the golf ball, and people cannot pitch it. They cannot chip it. I'm telling you, they think they can until you go beside somebody who really can. And then really, do you have to be that strong to hit it 8 feet in the air and let it run 5 more feet? You know what I mean? And
That's one of the things I struggle with the most for sure is control on pitch and chip shots. I mean, the number I'll leave massively short or launch over the green is way more than I put anywhere within a makeable putt.
Right. And then you look at the tour players, how many times they hit it stone dead from all around the green. Everybody's so enamored with like how they smash it. But, you can be a scratch golfer. If you hit it 260, 265, and you play the blue tee, you could be a really low handicap golfer. You don't have to bomb it. You do have to hit it crisply though, and you kind of got to know where it's going. And then through the bag, if you can wedge it and chip and putt, I mean, you can be a damn good player. So we put a lot of focus on, all right, if you're losing your tee ball, fine. We're going to spend a lot of time showing you why your path is crazy or why you're massively unreliable. If you're not losing your tee ball and you just want to hit it farther, then I'll say, okay, well, I want to go to like slam dunk camp. Okay. And I want to like Dr. J, Michael Jordan, this thing in there. It's not happening for me. Okay. I can touch the mesh a bit. But you could do some things to be faster. Now we do see sequence issues that can speed people up. We definitely see location issues of where their body is relative to how the club expands so they can touch the ball, brush the ground, and so here's what I tell you, like people leave the camp, if you go look at my Google reviews, it's like, oh, I had a great time. It was fun. That's what I want to hear. I had a great time. It was fun. I learned something. So at the camp, we focus on the root issue, like whatever your main, I don't care what you write down, we see it. Okay. You can write down whatever you want, but then I go to you, hey man, take a look at this. This is like, we fix this one thing. We fix 5 things. This one fix fixes 5 things for you. So let's fix this one thing. Forget everything else. This is huge. And then go chip and putt. You know what I mean? And then I tell people, adults don't practice. They don't have any childhood behavior anymore. Then nobody plays anymore. Like we play a game called Hoot and Scoot because it's fun and it's silly, where you just throw all the balls in, pair up the balls, then it's alternate shot with a sand wedge. And I throw the balls behind my head, and wherever they land, they land. And you got to play them 30, 40 yards over the bunker, over the studio, into the pin we determine, alternate shot. Cool. And people poop their pants. They're so nervous. And
sure.
You know what I mean? And then some people do pull the amazing shot off, and it's like, they'll tell the story until they pass away. It's amazing. And so we try to make situational places that, hey, this is really golf. It's playful, man. It's not, like, technique is only a small part of a golf camp. It's all, we teach routine, how to walk into a golf ball. Like nobody really knows how to walk into a golf ball. And so and you watch my coaches, and they're all really good players. And it looks like a symphony of, like, you watch a good player take a little practice swing, stand on the target line, take a moment, and you can tell they're kind of like, envisioning what's going on. And then they walk in, they pair their hands, and they tip over, aim the face, take a look. There's a rhythm to this all. And we use Tiger Woods as an example and Jack Nicklaus. And it's like, why were these guys the best of the best? Their routines were the best of the best. And so they could be in a storm of mental, and people watching and weather and the Masters and whatever. But the thing that puts them on autopilot to allow them to potentially have a good outcome is the piece of just the routine. I guarantee you it's the magic. Now, the technique piece, yeah, you got to put a bit of time in. If you got this crazy wrist condition and that bad grip, your uncle taught you. But if once you kind of take responsibility for fixing some of the stuff, then it's all routine then. And then it's short game. And then you can be a filthy golfer, like a really good golfer, and if you're maybe not that physically talented, maybe that's just shooting 85 or 86. If you're a bit more faster, maybe it's 78. If you're a little faster than that, then it's closer to par, because the closer you get to the green off the tee, the more short irons you hit, the less likely you're to miss those. Like tour players now, they're going to have to make golf courses 8,000 yards. Like dudes like Rory hit 8-iron into 14 at Pebble Beach. Have you ever played Pebble Beach? Anybody? Have you guys played it? Okay.
No, sadly, no.
Guys were hitting 5-iron into 13 at TPC. And they were hitting 6, 5, and 8-iron into 15. I've hit 15 a couple times, but I've had to take the head cover off something to hit it on that green.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's like,
Yeah.
that's hitting at 300 off the tee. And then I've got 250 left. But if you hit at 350, now you have 200. And then you get some strapping kid who hits a 7-iron 200 yards now. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's a game is like, what? You hit what? Driver 7-iron on 15 at TPC? No. And then Rory at 14. So just to give you a little texture to this, when
When he went up and over the trees, right? Is that?
Well, yeah,
that,
but it was Gary Woodland when he won the U.S. Open there. Okay, so I'm chewing my fingernails off because my best bud's on the bag, and he had a great drive down the middle. He had 250 left. This is Gary Woodland. He pounds it. Okay, so Gary Woodland hit out like some kind of fadey 3-wood up by the green, made birdie, and that was kind of the shot. You hit a little right, you hit it out of bounds. Hit a little left, goes down a little hill, and there's a little pine tree, gets right in your face. And so he hit this shot on the French 2-putt. And that wasn't even an easy 2-putt. And to see guys hit an iron into 14 now, like, what? Stop it. And then Rory hit driver punch 5-iron into 18. And he aimed it over the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, unbelievable. Like this, and Rory's Rory's my size. He's not even a big guy. Like, it's one thing to see Jake Knapp. It's another thing to see, Rory's pretty stout. He's pretty stocky. He's probably $180. Like, he's a strong 5'9" or 10 or whatever he is. But he's like, very fit and, moves like a freak. So it's interesting to see where you see like some big dudes, you kind of expect their lever to be, be able to hit it further. But yeah, no, the game's gone crazy. It's fun to watch, but it's also like, oof, these golf courses just get just munched when guys are hitting it far.
For your camp, do you do? Because I know obviously it gets very hot there in the summer. Are you year round, or do you do mostly spring, summer, spring?
Hell no, dude.
Like I know you do like fall. Like I know because I was very, very much contemplating November of this past year as like how can I sneak away? But I got two
it's
kids
hard.
and it's rough.
Guys your age with kids are not doing it. You're not doing it. You know what? Guys your age come. It's because your dad brought you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens. And it's a cool father-son experience. You got 70-year-old dad, you got 40-year-old son, and they're having a flipping blast. And I love seeing it. And so in Phoenix.
Dad, are you listening right now?
Right?
He just said,
Dad.
what? He just said very loudly. Yeah.
It's a great time. But we go November through the end of April in Phoenix. And then we do plenty of camps all over the place. I go to Wisconsin a lot. I go to Lake Geneva. So I'm at Grand
Geneva National?
Resort.
Hey.
Okay.
Grand Geneva.
Grand Geneva. Okay.
Yeah. So we've been going there for years. So I'm going to do 10 2-day camps there this summer.
Really?
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Grand Geneva's. I'm about 2.5 hours from Grand Geneva.
It's a great spot. You should come over, man. It's good. If you don't even do the camp, just come over and hang out with us.
Sure.
We go have a beer at Champs like every night. I'm like Norm there now.
You're
Marty.
speaking my language, Uncle Marty. You're speaking my language up here.
I got that. We'll have some cheese curds, and we'll have a light.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm in.
He's not going to do the camp, but can you please fix his grip?
Hey,
Yeah.
I've been sitting under the table like this the entire time we've been talking.
I'm afraid to raise my hands up that high.
He also
and
drinks
have
beer
Uncle
like
Marty
this,
see
so
something
you're going to
here.
need to fix that too.
Yeah. No, but so we do. I'm at Grand Geneva quite a bit, and then I go to Edgewood, Tahoe, where they do the Accenture. That's a great spot.
Cool.
There's a place in Puerto Los Cabos near Cabo San Lucas. We do camps. I go to my hometown, Toronto. I do a couple camps. Bend, Oregon. I do a camp at Tethero. And then sometimes just randomly, some of my buddies are club pros and they'll say, hey, we've got a bunch of people that want you to come up. Would you come up and do a camp? Sure. And so sometimes that fits in and we do that. So
That's really cool.
good time, man.
Absolutely. Marty, you've been really generous with your time. Thanks so much. We went a little over time, got off to a rocky start. Jason.
Yeah.
Jason. Yeah.
So,
My bad.
Marty, to shop your products or to look into the Tour Striker Academy, it's all on your website, right?
Yeah, tourstriker.com. Absolutely. And
Oh,
then my
perfect.
socials, Mark Chuck PGA, it's on Instagram. It's what I'm looking at the most, or at Tour Striker Golf too. So those are the ones where you see little tidbits and things. And then honestly, back to YouTube again. I'm putting a lot more stuff out there just because I've got probably 1,000 videos on YouTube that I drip out. Because I make you don't realize, but every time I'm talking to somebody is content.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I talk to a student, the phone is on, the mic's on, I'm talking to them. It's content. So all day is potential content. So sometimes if I find a presentation or a situation with a student that I think somebody might find help in, then I'll save it and post it up there.
Great. That's super smart.
Very nice. All right. Well, that's it.
Well, boys, good fun. Nice meeting y'all.
Marty, thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
man.
Marty. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you,
cheers.
Marty.
All right, man. Thank you for being here.
Rat.
Hayes, you want to send us off?
We're out.
Good
We
night,
found
boys.
it. We did it.
That was Martin Chuck. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Obviously a good dude. Pretty special guy as far as what he's been able to contribute to the golf space, right? And some of the products he's created. I mean, if you haven't been to the Tour Striker website, that episode ought to make you want to go do that and go check it out. Some really incredible products. The Tour Striker Academy seems like an incredible experience, something I hope to get done someday. It's an awesome episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, as always, you can email us at bogeyballsociety@gmail.com. You can like us and follow us on Instagram, subscribe and follow this podcast. Spread the word. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let us know what you thought. Thanks.